Hi, everyone. It's Lady Kate with our very first formal episode of the Lady Kate podcast. I am so excited. Producer Steve, how you feeling?
I am doing outstanding. Our first episode, can you believe it? How long we've been planning for this?
All year. Six
All
months.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's finally here. We have a guest. I'm very excited to hear about Jennifer today. She's got a great story, a real triumphant story that I've just been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Very, very excited.
So, do you want me to bring her on, or do you want to just keep talking about her?
Well, I can keep talking about her. I can give a little overview of the podcast, or we can bring her right in.
Why don't you tell us what the podcast is going to be about week to week?
Cool. So it's going to be a weekly broadcast shared through various social media accounts. Those not familiar with me yet, I'm Kate Frank. I've been in financial services over 20 years. I'm mom to Zach, Abby, Reagan, and Cooper, but everybody knows that Birdie is my favorite. So my husband is a five-time Ironman, David. I grew up in Wisconsin. Yes, I can milk a cow and a goat. And I say the royal we because we are excited, but yes, I am royalty. I am, in fact, a lady, and we'll get to that in one of these future podcasts. But we're very excited about the weekly podcast to get my vision to post great, inspiring, entertaining content for our viewers. So I'm so excited about today's guest. I'm so happy she agreed to be number one, the first one. So we're going to have a chat with my colleague and somebody I'm very proud to call a friend, Jennifer Jost.
Jennifer.
Hi, hi, Lady Kate. Hi, Steve. I'm so
Hello.
excited to be here. Woohoo!
That's the energy we need.
Yeah. I'm so excited you're here, Jen. This is so exciting for me. It's going to be great. Great.
I'm going to
So
let you two go right at it.
cool. So I want to try something with you, Jennifer. I'm calling it rapid fire.
Ooh, I like it.
You up for it?
Heck yeah! Whatever you want to do, girl. It's your show, and I am your puppet.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you five really quick questions, and I just want you to say the first things that come to your mind. So a couple softballs, and then we'll hit them hard. So what's your full name?
Jennifer Lee Jost,
What's your cat's name?
Luna, and Kevin, who is actually a girl.
What's the last thing you watched on TV?
Ooh, last night. Shark Tank.
Okay. And what'd you have for breakfast?
Okay, you're gonna so laugh. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Refried beans, cheese, and sour cream.
Interesting and gross.
I know, it was so good. I was up since 4 and I was starving right before, and I'm like, "Oh," it was just so perfect. Exactly what I needed.
And what's your boyfriend's name?
Myself, Jennifer.
Dang it, I thought I was going to trick you into giving me
Nice try.
little dirt. All right. So let's get into introducing you. I'm so excited again that you're here today. I want to talk about some things that that you have going on, not only from a business standpoint, but maybe some personal stuff. But I want to start with something that actually intrigued me about you the first time I met you. You have a designation called a CDFA, which is fairly rare in our industry. How long have you been in financial planning, and what exactly is that designation? What does it qualify you to do?
Great question. I was very first licensed in 2005, and the Certified Divorce Financial Analyst is a designation through a whole certification process I had to go through, and it helps me analyze people's assets in order to split them up for divorce. So you also can testify in court and be like attorney's, right hand person, and really deal with the money aspect of things. The difference that we make in the whole divorce situation is I'm looking lifetime. What is this money going to do forever? Like we do, right, Kate, in comprehensive financial planning. Like we kind of already do it. So it was a really easy transition, especially since I've been divorced 3 times. Yep, 3 times. We'll talk about that later. And I can help them see what it's actually going to be. And it takes the time off of the attorney's lap, actually. And we go into detailed depth on it. What I've been doing lately is mutual divorces. Like they both want to get divorced. They might have some, obviously there's some tension somewhere, right? but I meet with them both and I meet with them separately. And then I make sure that we can negotiate all the tips and tricks, because taxes come into play way down the road that the actual divorce today really doesn't take into account. They're just looking at the balance sheet, split it, this is where we're at. But I take into account, what is that going to look like 10, 20, 30 years down the road? So that's my CDFA.
I love it. I love it. So, also another thing that that drew me to you is really your passion and the importance of understanding where a person or a client has come from, so that you can help light the path on where it is that they need to go. And you tell some very interesting stories about those sorts of things. And we all bring our past with us, when it comes to our emotional stuff about money. And we can, as women, we can be particularly shaped by these experiences that we go through at very young ages. You have a particularly tragic story that's also very inspiring. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your background and what has kind of shaped you into where you are today?
Awesome. Thank you for allowing me to share. And you're right. And I love how you said it was inspiration as well, because that's what you're going to get at the end of this for sure. I actually, which many of our listeners out there will probably listen and relate to, that I grew up in a dysfunctional household. So my wonderful father was an alcoholic, and we did not know what was going to happen when I walked in the door after school, what type of chaos was going to be there, right? And that's actually when I was aware of it. And so we create patterns all the way through our childhood and growing up. We owned a business, so I became an entrepreneur minded right off the bat. I married an alcoholic at 19 because that's what felt natural, right? I was used to the chaos. I was used to the drama. And so I had my first child, Nicholas, at 21, and my beautiful daughter, Cherie, at 24. And then when I was about 28, I got that feeling that I could not breathe. I don't know if you can relate to that, like eat, love, praise, like on the bathroom floor moment, they all say different times, but
Oh, I had one this week. Yeah,
oh, take a breath.
I did. I cried on the phone to a custodian.
Okay, good, good. And we feel that, right? We, as women, and men maybe too out there, but as women, we definitely connect from the heart to any situation. So I think we come to things a little bit differently. So at 28, I said, okay, I got to fix this because I can't breathe and I'm not who I am. So I started going to therapy and church, and I found a whole new community and all this great stuff. Took me a few months to decide that I wanted a divorce. So a few months later, I asked for a divorce, and then I had the 6 months of hell. He was completely unstable and scary, and there's lots of stuff that went on with that. But finally, he did leave the house, and we filed for divorce, going through the process, and he actually showed up and ended up, long story, but anyways, he ended up showing up, and he saw me with a new boyfriend, which was not smart on my point at that point, right? Because I knew he was unstable, but I could have never fathomed how unstable. And so he saw me, and everything went bad. He ended up kidnapping me the next morning. He had my children, and he had my daughter held at gunpoint in a rented van, and kidnapped me and took me to the house and barricaded the office door and wanted me to tie myself up and sign the divorce papers that I wasn't going to get divorced. And I don't even remember what those papers actually said. It was crazy. And so he ended up letting me go because I had to go to work and all my employees were calling. So he said he was going to follow me. He kept the kids. He went back to the house and barricaded himself in the master bedroom. I called 911. That started the 11-hour hostage day. At the end of the 11 hours, he was given a 10-minute ultimatum. At the end of 10 minutes, 3 shots were fired. And he ended up taking the lives of my children, Nicholas and Cherie, and himself in my master closet when I was 29. I'll let everybody take a breath because I know that's hard. They actually just had their birthdays a couple of weeks ago, which is why I'm getting teary. I do this a lot, and so I don't normally get teary, but they're here with us. So if you start laughing for no reason at all, that's my daughter Cherie, because she'll have you giggling. And then if you drop something, normally it's keys, that's Nicholas. He's with you here as well. So thank you so much for letting me share them with you. I knew through the survival of that I literally just made a decision, because there was no reason for me to be alive at that point. But I found the will through a great grief group that I attended, and I saw this one couple just, sobbing every single week, and this other beautiful woman handling her grief with grace. And I decided that I was going to survive. And then when I found out that the couple's son had passed 5 years earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot do this for 5 years. I need to make a choice now, stay or go. And I made a choice to live. I made a choice to stay here, and I made a choice to make a difference. And I know that I am here on this planet to help empower women. I choose to do that around money because there's a whole lot more stories on how I got screwed around that situation. And so I definitely am here to help empower women. My business names, I have two. They're Diamond to Life because my children's birthstones were diamond. So I give back to them every day. They're here. You help me heal. Thank you so much. I did marry the cute boy. Oh, yep, hot, cute boy. And we had two beautiful children. So my daughter, Journey, and my son, Parker, they're amazing. They're almost 25 and 26 right now. So yes, I'm still a mom and life is grand, but I definitely live every day on purpose because when it hurts bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's to me for whenever I hear somebody who, has something like that happen and then you really, I mean, you went full bore and dug right into what could be considered, what almost caused this in your life, which is that divorce. And so for you to just cut through that and go help people and say, hey, like we get it. You're gonna get over it and life will go on and things are gonna happen. And for you to be able to go in there and be that voice of reason is how I kind of imagine you in that room with those people. And so it's incredible because I don't think there are a lot of advisors that can work on both sides, right? So work with both the husband and the wife, or both, if it's same sex couple, both husbands or both the wives, I just don't think, I think it takes a special person to do that. And so thanks for sharing that story because I do, I don't know if people can understand how really valuable you would be in that sort of a situation without understanding that piece of it from you. So I appreciate that. So Jennifer, is there something in your life in particular that when you kind of look back at everything that you do and you look at the way that you're helping, I know, and you help a lot of women, one thing that you can say, hey, that's really that's my specialty. Like, I know that if I find a woman that is in this type of a situation, or person in general, like that's, I know that I'm the person for that.
Yes, and I'm so glad you said that because I was supposed to post this morning, which I did not. So you are correct. I mean, obviously, I'm here to help empower women. My financial advising firm is probably 90% couples, and then the rest single women. However, I do work with both men and women. Like, I want them both to be empowered around their money. And then my coaching side is for women, but I've had many men call me and say, hey, I know I'm a man, but will you coach me? And it's like, of course, of course. So my specialty actually just called me yesterday. I love the universe. I love receiving, and I love manifesting the people that I really, really want to work with. And it was a young couple, both entrepreneurs, made more money than they've ever made last year. And they're trying to tie it all together. They need a comprehensive financial plan. But I shouldn't say but. And I also listened to some of the limiting beliefs when they were talking to me. My specialty is to make sure that their words are creating their dreams and desires, which means their thoughts are creating their words. Because we can all do a plan, right? We can all do a plan and get a great rate of return and make sure that they're doing what they're doing. But if they don't feel, I call it the F word. So if they don't feel, I know, I love that. I literally want to write a book called The F Word because
I love a good F word. So
I know, me too. Our F words are our favorites. And you are so beautiful and adorable. And I think the first time I heard you drop the F bomb, I fell over because it was almost like a little snicker when you did it. And you're like, wow, that's my favorite word. Chick, what's your problem? I'm like, oh, I love you, Kate. I love you. Oh, it's so hilarious. So yeah, so I think my specialty is entrepreneurs and people that are here for a difference. When you want to play bigger, you need to make more money. That might be the case. You just are confused on where to go and what to do next. My specialty is definitely someone living their purpose, ambitious, and wanting to tie it all together. And then we, make sure that they have all the buckets filled and make sure that the money stress is off their mind so that they can actually create. And they normally have amazing visions, right? Like you, Lady Kate, and this awesome podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because you know, and I love the discussion that you have with people around making your words really count also. You had said one time, and just so people understand where this is coming from, Jennifer and I are in a study group of all women financial advisors from across the country. We're a
Wonder
wonderful group.
Woman.
We're called Wonder Women, yes. And somebody said one time, "Oh, I'm so blessed," and you were like, "Blessed? What does that mean? You didn't earn that yourself?" Like, and I just thought that was the most incredible thing that I'd ever heard anybody come in and say. I was like, "Yeah, like darn right. Like you should say, yeah, I did that. Like you should be proud of it, and that's it. You know, I love it."
Yeah,
So
I love that. I have we have Oprah to thank for the gratitude, right? Like we didn't even look at that until I don't even know when that was, the 90s or something. I had my gratitude journal. I brought it out. The kids had to write all their gratitude. Their friends wrote their gratitude inside all this. That's great, and I love it. But once I became a certified money coach and realized that our words are so important, when I'm grateful for something or blessed for something, it means I don't deserve it. And a little voice in the back of my head, if you're feeling, unworthy like me, my biggest core wound is I don't want to be a failure. So I have that little voice back there that says, "Oh, I'm so lucky that happened." Baloney, like baloney. I appreciate that happening because I deserve it. I'm here on this planet. I'm breathing. I probably did something absolutely amazing because we always do. And I totally appreciate that that's here. So I was trying to take the connotation off of blessed. Please, we show up and here we are. And so, of course, we appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, and it's purposeful. I think it's such a great message. I know, you know, for me, a lot of times when I'm dealing with a couple in my office, I hear a lot of men will come in, and I'm in Texas, so this is land of the we all want to take care of our little ladies, right?
Oh, I love
So right, and so they'll come into the office and they'll say, "Oh, my wife, she does not want to have anything to do with all of this numbers and money stuff." And so, I know that the first time it was said to me, I was like didn't know what to, how to address it. I'm sure you have a fabulous answer on what, when you hear something like that. What do you say to men that say that?
That's a great question. And that's actually kind of known in my reputation now because I won't work with just one person. I actually have one client that I work with just him because she has her own financial advisor, which is great. I always love to say that is wonderful. And so who is going to pass away first? And they always say, "Well, of course I am." And I always make the joke, women, we talk you to death, right? So you're going to pass away first. Then what's going to happen to your wife? If you want to take care of her, she has to know a little bit about what's happening. I promise you, bring her in. We can go to lunch, we can go to dinner, you can bring her in. I promise you that she will love meeting me. If I can make it very fun for her and at least have her just meet with me, would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. You also do something that I think is pretty unique. You have something called a money quiz, and you do a money breakthrough session. What exactly is that?
Oh, I love it. Guess what you just opened yourself up to, Miss Kate?
Oh, am I going to take a money quiz?
Well, we're not going to do the quiz because you're already a badass. So I don't need to do the quiz. The quiz just actually just tells yourself, like, waking you up on your money and what's your money story. Are you a saver or a spender? Like, are you scared? Do you hang on really, really tight with your money? Are you an ostrich? Do you bury yourself and not even look at it? Or are you a magician and you know that you're going to manifest it and create it and all of that? But the money breakthrough session is showing that there's so much more to money than the rate of return, the PE ratio, the market, there's so much more to it than that. So are you ready? I'm going to ask
I'm
you a
ready.
question. Okay.
Whose
I know you
podcast is
do.
this?
What?
I said, whose podcast is this?
I know, right? It's yours and you invited me and I
All right,
love you.
sorry.
Okay.
Let's go.
So you do, I would imagine, some type of paying bills somewhere in business, at home, or something. I know your husband's amazing, but I'm sure you guys split some of that up. So if you can think of one expense that you do not care to do on a monthly basis, what would that be?
What do you mean? Like I don't like I'd rather pay it annually and
Or
be
you
done.
just don't want to pay it? Like it brings up any amount of negativity at all.
Oh, I know the one.
Okay. What is it? You got to tell me. Sorry.
It's every year our CPA bill. It
Oh, I
drives
love it. I just had this yesterday too. Okay, great. So when you have to pay your CPA bill, that means that they're doing your taxes, correct?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Now, we all are legally required to do our taxes, right? And so we have to get this done. It's a necessary thing. What does your CPA do to help you? Is this, are they saving you time by them doing the taxes versus you?
Of course. Yes.
Okay, great. And do you think that your CPA, and play with me here because I hope you don't say no, but let's say here, do you think your CPA has a little bit more knowledge than you do about taxes?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. My issue with not paying him is that I feel like I paid the bill at the end because I hand him my credit card every time, and then he continues to send me bills all throughout the year. And I just found out this year that he and David think it's funny to drive me nuts over an unpaid bill because unpaid bills drive me batty. I
Okay,
cannot
that's
stand I cannot stand past due notice when I open anything up. I can't stand it.
oh my God, I love it. Okay, so we're going to go to two different areas right
Okay.
here. The first one is tell me how great your CPA is.
He's fantastic. He is a partner at Gaynor Donnelly DeRoche. He's been David's CPA for 30 years. He's great.
Okay, awesome. And so now, just so Mr. CPA, if you're listening to this, you need to kick her a prize because she just mentioned you on her podcast.
I did.
Okay. And then the next thing is your husband and him are making a joke by sending you a bill. Did they get some enjoyment out of that?
Yes.
Oh my
A
gosh.
lot.
Did they laugh their butts off?
Probably. Yeah.
Hysterical, right? And what does laughter do to our body? Brings in health.
It releases endorphins.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you receiving that bill is giving them joy, giving them, right? What a shift. What a complete.
My pain is their joy. The story
Yes.
of my life, Jennifer.
I love it. So now every time you get that bill, I want you to just giggle just like that. And that's what we do. That's what we do with every dime in everyone's household is we put a good feeling like that around every single dime so that you manifest. What we focus on persists. Okay, second lesson on the unpaid bills. That drives you crazy, right? Unpaid bills. So this is my philosophy only. I believe that money is energy. I believe that we all wake up every day and we say, okay, I'm either going to go to a job or I'm going to go into my business. I'm going to share my skills and talents and abilities with someone. They are going to say, thank you very much for being here, and the amount of money in the form of money, either your paycheck or a client gives you a fee or whatever it might be. But the money coming back at us, the income coming to us is thank you. It is a gratitude. And they're saying, thank you for showing up every day. Thank you for giving me your skills. So we put that gratitude in a bank account. That gratitude builds up in a bank account. We are sending our gratitude out to someone else, like your CPA. Thank you very much for doing my taxes and laughing at me with my husband because you're a dork now, right? Thank you for, I get up every morning, I'm 58, and I get up every night and use the restroom every night. It's so fun. Usually you too, right? Between 2 and 4, whatever.
Yep, I was just going to say 3 a.m. like clockwork.
3 a.m. like clock. I'm going to text you next time. That's hilarious. So I have a little night light. You're going to laugh. It's on my toilet. I have a little night light on my toilet that's a motion detector. I'm going to mail you one. It's hilarious.
Oh, I like it.
It's so great. My daughter says that is the funkiest thing I've ever seen, and I love it. So when I walk in there, the toilet light goes on so I can see. Now, I flush the toilet, I get up and I leave. I did not dig one ditch. I did not go climb a pole. I did not touch anything yucky. I didn't do any of that. So thank you, utilities company. Thank you, water system. Thank you, all of that. Now, you do not have to send money with it. This is where I'm hoping I'm going to shift you. It's not about the money. It's about the gratitude. So even if you have a credit card bill, and some of us, our listeners out there, might not be able to pay off that credit card bill every month. And maybe you might not make a payment at all. I remember the show Roseanne way back when. She would spin it around the Lazy Susan and pick the bill that she was going to pay that month. The rest of the bills, you literally just say, thank you so much. I'll pay you next month. So it's not about the money. It's about the gratitude that we attach to it. And let's face it, that piece of paper that you get in the mail, right? That bill, you get a piece of paper that says amount due. Can that piece of paper hurt you?
No.
Can it make you, I mean, it can't give you a black eye. It literally cannot physically hurt you. All it is an agreement to pay.
Right.
That's it. So I'll pay you later.
I think you just shifted my so the joke will not work in 2022. I'll have you know, David
Oh my
and
gosh. They're going to watch this and they're probably going to come up with something way better. I can't wait to hear.
Jane. Great. That's so yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, and at first, even what you were describing, it's so like basic economics. I mean, it's so trickle down economics that some people just don't understand. Is that we are consumers, but we are also people who are putting things out there for commerce too. So we're distributors, we're producers, we're all of those things, each and every one of us. So I've never really thought of it on such a personal level, just such a global always. So that's really very interesting way to look at it. I love it. Very
I
good.
love that. I love it. And then we get to choose to play this money game, right? Like we don't have to. I mean, I live in San Diego. There's homeless everywhere. And I came from the Bay Area. San Francisco has a whole community of people who choose to be a homeless, not necessarily mentally disabled or, addiction or anything like that, but they actually choose to get off the grid. And
Mhm.
so if we choose to play the money game, remember that it's a choice that we're making. If we choose to do that, it's a money game. And that's what we're here for. We are here to help people play this money game, but experience as much joy out of life as possible, which is why I love you so much, because you're like always hilarious. Like, wait till listeners, you are going to love this podcast because Kate is hilarious. She drops these lines that you will not expect at all. And I am literally laughing for hours. It's hilarious.
Well, I guess I got to be funny now too. So,
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm going to tell a funny story.
okay.
Yep, she should be scared. No, I'm kidding. She's hilarious. So we went to a convention, a women's convention, women in insurance and financial services. We're members, and we went to the convention. And we get, how you get all these emails, like million emails about an event, which is totally great because we're all very busy and we want to be reminded. However, so Kate and I, and one of our friends, Tony, we were sitting there the day before, or maybe even it was that morning that we read or someone said something about the black tie event, like formal event that night. Tony and I and Kate look at each other. First of all, Kate was amazing because she just flew in because she wanted to hear me speak. Thank you. Mwah. And we're looked at each other and we're like, oh, we didn't read that part of the email. Like, oh my gosh, we have nothing to wear tonight. So Kate's bright idea, I know she looks absolutely adorable here, but she's hilarious. She said, let's go to the consignment store and buy prom dresses and come in. I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, we're literally at a prestigious event and she wants to do that. I'm like, I'm down, whatever you want to do. So her and Tony go to the consignment store, come back. She buys us all a dress, ties, men's ties, jewelry. I still have the Gucci earrings,
Aren't they
bracelet.
Chanel?
Chanel. Yeah, Chanel.
That lady did not know what she had in her store. I was like, how much are these? She goes, $2.99. I was like, $2.99. She goes, yeah. I said, okay, I'll take them.
And I still have them. Like, I'm sure I should wear them more often. Oh, it was hilarious. So we got dressed, ran our makeup, messed our hair all up. It was crazy. I had like this man's tie, and we came downstairs for the cocktail hour, and the three of us are like that. Several hundred women are not, they're dressed to the nines, right? And here we are like that. And we said, oh, we stopped at a bachelorette party on the way down.
I will tell you that I don't think any of us got to take a bite of our dinner. I felt like we were like the bells of the ball because everybody kept getting us up to take pictures with us. So I'm sure there's a zillion pictures of it out there. They'll come back
Oh
to
my
haunt us
gosh.
someday.
It was so fun. It was such a blast. And I would have never thought of that. Like, you are so creative. And we did have such a blast that night because we got out of our element, I believe. It's like I wasn't the staunchy financial advisor. I was actually this silly party animal with my friends. Like, it was so fun.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. One of the things, and even with me and planning out this podcast, we can get in our own heads about things, and really like fear sometimes can prevent a lot of people in general from doing things. What are some of the most common fears that you see women in particular when it comes to their finances?
I love that. I feel like they've been told somewhere in middle school normally that girls are not good at math, and they think that all of this is about math. That's one little belief that's causing some fear on to really dive in and look at what's happening. The number one fear in America is they think they're going to run out of money, and so they're going to eat cat food. And they literally tell me that. Like, I literally have millionaires telling me the same exact thing. It doesn't matter how many zeros are in your bank. We still have the little 5-year-old girl inside of us, the little 5-year-old boy inside of us that's running our life and running our financial life, running our company if we're in business. And so we have to address the fears from a 5-year-old. Here's a little story that gives you a little example of what I'm talking about. There's this little boy that's standing by the window looking at his friend who has this awesome bike, and he really, really, really wants this bike. And his friend keeps riding it back and forth, and he's like, Mom, I really, really, really want this bike. And his mom would always just say, don't worry, we're waiting for your father's ship to come in. And so him at his brain took that in to always waiting for a ship to come in. So he would always stand by the window and look for the ship to come in because they were on the water, and so they could see the pier. It was a fishing community. And so he's always waiting for his dad's ship to come in because he physically thought that's what it was. So our 5-year-old brains, can you just imagine what our 5-year-old brains have concocted in our brain? And all a belief is a thought that's thought over and over again. So if we were 5 and we had this thought that we thought over and over again, now it's a belief. So now you think that you're waiting for some ship to come in, that you're not the one that's actually attracting it or creating it, that you're waiting to get lucky. And so all of those beliefs are in the back of our head with all of that in our subconscious. And women with society and our upbringing, I mean, we kind of were behind the ball on things because we didn't even start things for so long. We couldn't even have a checking account. I mean, I remember I got married first time. I'm not done yet either, just saying. First time in 1985, and I had to bring my husband to sign on my checking account, even though it was legal at that point. They still wanted to know if I was married and have his permission. So we weren't even allowed to do things on our own for very, very. It's only been a few decades that we've actually been seen as being able to do things on our own. So we definitely have to get out there more, but we want to make it fun. We need to move the fear to love and joy, because it's not going to hurt you. Like it's not going to hurt you physically, like kind of like your paper bill is, like get your money routine set and love money. Like money, look how cute my phone case is. I freaking love this phone case. Money bought this. Okay, yeah, it was $5, but I don't care. Money bought it. My surfboard, I have this handmade. I went to La Jolla. This couple, this man and this woman. It's a real surfboard. They had turtles in there. So I'm like, I prefer sand dollars. Can you do that? And they're like, yeah, yay. So I waited for a couple weeks for him to carve it. She painted it. I picked it up and hung it up. Like, I love this. Money bought that. Why not love money? Money buys us memories and experiences and love and joy. Now, my money, which is my gratitude, right, went to that family. So they got to experience that money. So I always have my clients change the fear to choice, to hopefully we're just satisfied, but then we move it up from satisfaction to joy. Like, where do you want your money to go? You want your money to speak for your values. And I value entrepreneurship. So I love to pay my entrepreneurs, my coaches. I always have a coach. Like, I have 3 right now. I love paying them because they're helping me, and I know that I'm helping their business, their family. They get to have their little light on the toilet and wake up in the middle of the night and not stub their toe anywhere. So yeah, there's definitely fears, but we can actually reshift those thoughts and those beliefs right now and have an instant shift and instant manifestation to more creating more money.
Yeah, I love all of that, all of what you're saying. I think that's so important. I want to switch gears just one second really quick. So you have your daughter, Journey, who's also getting into the business. With women still making up just shy of 15% of the industry, with you being such a powerhouse and having like this unapologetically female, like, I am woman, hear me roar. I remember when I got in business and everybody was like, well, you just need to act like a man, or you need to stop thinking like a girl. What is the best thing that you could tell a young woman getting into this industry?
Great question. I did the same thing, right? I literally wore my hair up every day. I wore a suit every day. I started with a big wirehouse. I don't know if we can say names, but I did. And we couldn't even have open toe shoes, no pants, always dresses with nylons. Like, so I grew up in that masculine world, and I crushed it. We won awards everywhere we were, right? Like we're badasses for sure. And then I couldn't get that feeling again. As I couldn't breathe. It's like I wasn't being authentic in who I really am. And so that is the best thing that you can do. And it's scary and vulnerable. However, if you're vulnerable with your clients, they will trust you like that. Like, I tell my story. I am who I am everywhere. I have not done everything correct. Like, I absolutely have not. I'm perfectly imperfect. And my clients know it. Like, I can't wait to give them this podcast. Like, they know exactly who I am authentically. And even that company, that wirehouse, told me to get an office in a different city than I lived so that I could let loose in the city that I lived in, so that my clients wouldn't see me let loose. Are you kidding? Like, I have the most conservative religious clients as well. And they literally call me like 5, 6, am I bothering you on happy hour? Are you having your margarita on your deck? Like, they love me and they love what's happening because they can trust me and I'm authentic and I've got their back. So, ladies, young gents, whoever you are jumping in this business, be authentic. Throw the word tradition out of the window. And if anyone tells you that's the way we've always done it, turn around and walk away or find a new way, because money is new now. Advising is new. Everything is modern. This world is turned upside down and things are very, very different now than they've ever been before. So know what you think is right. Go for it. Don't listen to anyone else. You obviously have to be compliant. My compliance officer is amazing. I love him. He's got my back. I've got his. I want to make sure everything's correct. Like, I love that. However, you got to be authentic. And so, if you notice, I've not mentioned one thing about investing here, which I will not, because compliance will spank me. So we don't do that. So just stay within your compliance, but be your authentic self 100% of the time, and your people will find you. Like, I will, from this or anything that I ever do, I'll find someone contemplating a divorce that might want to talk and see what it looks like. In a divorce, after divorce, now what do? It's all my money. Or just someone that suffered a tragedy, and they've been through crap in their life. Like, my clients normally have always been through crap. I had one person sit down with me and say, wow, I have never experienced anything that you have experienced. My life has been great. I had a great childhood. I went to college. I got a business. I started my business. Everything's been great. My family's great. Everybody's okay. Well, that's not going to be my client, right? Like, they're going to go for somebody else way more vanilla than me. We drop the F word. We have a good time, right? So our clients are going to find us if you are authentic.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Well, Jennifer, I am so thankful to have had you, appreciative to have had you here on my very first. Oh, I love this. We're going to celebrate. Where did you get one with purple foil?
Kirkland, baby. Mama likes a bargain.
I love it. Well, thank
We
you
have
so
to celebrate.
I
Lady Kate,
know.
did we get to know the lady story yet, or is that another podcast?
I will. Yes, I'm going to. I'm gonna do one about it, maybe
Okay.
briefly.
I can't wait.
Thank
Woo!
you.
I am celebrating you. I'm celebrating you crushing your fear. I am celebrating you putting the good of everyone else in front of your nervousness and all of your things that come up when we start to become visible. I love you. You're amazing. And I'm so happy for you. Cheers, my love.
Thank you, Jennifer.
I feel like I should be here for this.
You should, Steve. We're shocked. Cheers, Mr. Producer.
They're all back there.
I know, right?
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I would be joining you, but I have a duathlon this weekend, so it's
You're a good girl
for me.
Hydrate.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you, my dear. Mwah.
Good seeing you.
Wow.
One in the can. That's what we say, right?
Wow. She's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. She's great.
Well, I don't know if we can top it with guest number 2. I mean, you just have to keep going. Wow.
Yeah,
You
I know.
started big. You started big. She's amazing. What a story. What a woman. She
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, and she just the energy, I know you can't feel it here, but to be in a room with that woman is like electric. She's that type of person. She just has such an amazing, amazing energy. I'm so happy to know her.
Well, I guess that's a wrap for show 1. You want to wrap us up?
Yeah, yeah. So there you have it. First Lady Kate podcast. So, in future podcasts, I think we're going to be adding some things like Ask Me Anything. So, we want you to post comments and questions in chats on social media, and we'll try to answer questions in upcoming broadcasts. If you found this podcast helpful, give us a like or a thumbs up, and please feel free to share. So, take care, everyone. This has been really fun for me. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Lady Kate podcast, and I hope you all have a royal day.